What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, and my fighters? I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about The Walking Dead Season 11 Part 2. Did you like it? Now, spoiler warning, obviously, for all of Part 2. That's Season 11, Episode 9 through 11:16. If you haven't seen 11:16 yet, it airs this Sunday on AMC, but I watched it last week on AMC Plus, so we're going to talk about it here. And I don't know what you know, what you don't know, what you haven't seen yet, so general spoiler warning always for sure. But overall, Season 11, I'm enjoying it. It's got its lull moments, its slow moments, its political story with the Commonwealth, but then we have some Walker stuff. It's like the story is there with action, and then there's story, politics, then some action, story, politics. But 1109 started off with a bang. It's probably one of the best episodes in Part 2, probably in Part 1 and Part 2. The Reapers came and went. They were filler, because if the Reapers weren't there, I don't know what they would have done for so many of these episodes. But Negan being Negan, pretty good fight sequence, and I do like that the Reapers were better fighters than our group. There was just more of them when they fought. Leah was left alive. We see later on that she was killed off for part of the story. Jumped around with time a bunch of times in episodes 6 months later, 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, this and that. Commonwealth story arc has been a little slow for a lot of people, but I've enjoyed it. I knew what to expect, and Daryl being a Commonwealth soldier is different for the show, because we all know the show is the show, the comic is the comic, and there's going to be differences, that's for sure. The Commonwealth story, our group has jobs, trying to make it in this new society. Still don't really understand why they're using money as currency there. It's just an easy way to be like, yeah, they did this before the world, so why not, right? I do like the dynamic with Rosita and Daryl, and to be honest, I feel like it's a long time coming. They've had some interactions and some story, but not much. And then there's this guy, Sebastian. We have to have characters that we don't like that are kept alive far too long. Lance is involved with everything. Max, Mercer, William, Milton, Pamela Milton. The Miltons are a very powerful political family. We see that there is some sort of resistance building up. We see Yumiko in the background, and she's really had a lackluster story up to this point, in my opinion. The stuff with Tyler and the resistance and resist the Commonwealth is building up for Part 3 and the list of names, and you got to play the game. You got to keep making the Miltons look good. Lance is involved with every aspect of the story so far in the Commonwealth, which is fine. He's a good villain so far. Rosita being a Commonwealth soldier is pretty good. It fits the character for sure. We're still waiting for the huge CRM reveal. Are we going to get it? Is it coming? Is it not? I really hope it does. We'll have to wait and see. Stefani, well, Shira was a spy, so they did the spy angle again, yet again. When in doubt, rinse and repeat, keep doing the spy stuff. We find out that Lance is behind this group of people to get information about Eugene, but we haven't seen these characters since that big reveal. Like, Shira is her name. What has she been doing? Lance is involved with this group. He knows about Sebastian Milton. He knows about Mercer. He knows about this guy with the poppies. He's doing stuff behind Pamela Milton's back, so why not be connected with the CRM? I really hope that happens. I love Mercer. I love the action, but to me, it feels like the political story with some walkers, with some action. Mercer is really the best new character. Lance is a good villain, that's for sure, but Mercer, I really wish he came earlier in the story, but we'll take it. The political stuff has been building and building and building. It's definitely going to be the focal point in Part 3, I'm guessing. Like I said before, the list of names. We'll see what happens with Tyler Davis, the April mistake, the continuity error with April's last name. So we'll have to see what's up with Eugene and Max going forward, because we do know that Max is the person that Eugene was talking to on the radio, and we knew that was because Margot Bingham is the voice that was credited in prior seasons, and there she is. It's pretty interesting that we get to see Max, Mercer, brother and sister, even though Mercer's name is Michael. So are they like Max Mercer, Michael Mercer, and they just call him Mercer because of the last name? And I do like Max, and I like Mercer. I think those are two of the best characters they've added in a long time that are on our side, because Lance is definitely the villain that we need. Still wondering how Lance and Pamela Milton know each other, are related, are connected, besides working with each other. We know that Pamela Milton was going to see the communities, but there's only so many communities left. Alexandria, Hilltop, and Oceanside. It was cool to see the Deanna callback, and of course, Pamela Milton knows Deanna. Why not, right? Small world in zombie apocalypse. It's good to see Tommy being a surgeon again, saving Ezekiel's life, and we kind of knew that was going to happen because why would you keep Ezekiel alive just to kill him off? The bad CGI has been there a couple times, but it's not bad. When we talk about it and we discuss it, I'm not harping on the show, but when I see something that looks cheesy, I gotta call it out and talk about it. I still love the show, I support the show, and I'm enjoying season 11 as a whole. Oceanside has been lackluster. There's too many communities, too many people, too much cast still, but we'll have to see what goes down for part 3. Lance, yet again, is connected with Alexandria, taking over all 3 communities at the end of part 2. Maggie, a lot of people are hating on Maggie. Do you not like her because of the Negan stuff? Are you Team Negan? Are you Team Maggie? Do you just not like her? The Rosita, Eugene stuff is cool. I wish they mentioned Abraham, but I guess Rosita has, mixed feelings towards him still, or bad feelings. They broke up, but it would be cool to see them have more and more callbacks to prior seasons. They have it here and there, but this is the final season of The Walking Dead. Like I said, Ezekiel had surgery, and he's okay. Going to be part of the resistance to take down the Commonwealth. Lance with the coin was building it up about his favorite coin with William Milton on the coin, which is interesting that it was gold plated, kind of like fake gold, which is very telling, the conversation between these two. The Commonwealth taking out the walkers. They still have a problem with shooting when it counts. And it's just funny, they are like stormtroopers. Maggie not buying into the Commonwealth, I believe that it makes sense. And I can't really remember a time in this season where I was like, that's really stupid. That really doesn't make sense. Maybe some of the story is not the best, but I am buying what these characters are going through. I'm glad that Eugene and Max, they had their problems, but they made up and they're together. And I think they're good together. Like I said before, I don't know what's up with these two. How do they know each other? And the dialogue in this scene was pretty interesting. Hopefully it's answered. Again, we're at the end of the series pretty soon. We're coming up with the 3rd and final part. Stuff needs to be answered, either in spin-offs or on the main series. And even in this 2nd part, we're getting new characters. Jesse and Toby, and then we're meeting the Riverbend people, and it kind of fits. Like the bit, I remember seeing this in the trailer. We're like, oh, that's cool. Who are these people? And then boop, killed off. And it's cool that we're seeing new characters and, pretty big actors. And they basically come and go in the same episode. Michael Biehn from Terminator. Pretty cool. Again, they play with time 1 week ago. Well, 1 week and 1 hour ago. And it's just building it up. Lance is involved with this. Lance knows Toby. Lance knows about this. Lance knows that. Lance knows this. And Toby was kind of a cool character. I wish he was there longer. Some of the new characters they're bringing in are pretty good for the show. And it sucks that they got to kill him off because the main show is ending. Negan comes back around. Some people thought he wasn't going to be seen until the 3rd part. I'm glad he's coming back around in the 2nd part because he is an important part of the show. He went away in 1109 and came back in a couple episodes later, which I'm glad they didn't stretch it out. The Walking Dead loves to do that. Toby is a psychopath, and they definitely highlighted that there as he basically threw everybody off the roof. They were looking for guns and supplies, but these people did not take it. We find out later on that it was Leah. Toby talking to Lance is interesting because Lance is trying to do his own thing. I don't know if he's trying to overthrow Pamela Milton or just have his own piece of the pie, or his own pie altogether. The Daryl Rosita cop drama is good. It's great. It's interesting. It's good for the show. I do like the idea of them building for story, but it just sucks that it's ending. It's cool to see Daryl and Rosita. They do bring a good connection with each other. I do like the cop stuff here, but it's kind of funny that Daryl is a police officer. Well, he's not. I guess the militarized police officer unit here, the Commonwealth Stormtrooper armor. Sebastian is really involved with Daryl, and it's interesting. Is Sebastian going to get killed off? Some people think that Sebastian's going to kill Daryl. That would be terrible and really stupid. They go back to the guts trick time and time again, which is nice to see the callbacks. I hope we see more of them in the 3rd part. Negan is married with a baby on the way. We find out that Negan has been a very busy boy. He saves Herschel, which we thought was going to have to happen because of the Maggie-Negan dynamic. Like I said, Negan is having a baby on the way. Is that going to spell doom for Annie? Is Annie going to be able to have the baby? Will Maggie do the C-section for Annie? Made me thinking about prior season 3, when she did that for Lori. Could that come full circle where she delivers Negan's baby? Herschel points a gun at Negan, and I'm really glad they didn't have another child kill a main character. They love to do that in the Walking Dead universe. Herschel knows the truth about Negan now. Is that going to build for the future of the Maggie-Negan spinoff? Daryl and Rosita get the money out of the house for Sebastian, so Sebastian's lavish lifestyle is funded. We meet a new character, April, who's killed in the same episode that we meet her. Toby is killed by Rick. Oh, sorry, Aaron. He looks so much like comic Rick, which is pretty cool. But will Aaron die in part 3? We have to watch and see. Mercer takes out Sebastian's cronies, punks, goons, whatever you want to call them. We find out that Leah is the one that took the supplies from the Commonwealth cart. Leah could be very useful against the CRM, or at least could have been. She got killed off this part. We see the detective work, and it's a crime scene investigation. The Commonwealth does it all, and they have to figure out what went on here. We see another romance, Princess and Mercer. Does that spell doom for one of these two? I think they'll both be okay. Princess and Mercer get together in the comic. I do love the dynamic between them. It's very good. Princess, Mercer, Max, Eugene. There is still love in the zombie apocalypse, and it's good to see that we have characters finding love that have had problems in the past with relationships. We know that Lance, yet again, is connected with more of the Commonwealth story arc, and it's cool. He's a good part of the show. The actor's doing a great job. A lot of people are calling him the Better Call Saul of The Walking Dead, and you know he's up to something, right? He's always got that look. He's always got that thing, like he's trying to play the angles to his advantage to keep staying alive. Tommy and Ezekiel basically need each other, that Ezekiel comes to Tommy about his, I don't know, back room black market surgery because Ezekiel needs Therese from the kingdom to have an appendectomy. Tommy does his job, and so far so good. But will Tommy be killed off? Because he is a doctor in the Walking Dead universe, and that does not bode well for you, that's for sure. Lance goes to the hilltop because he suspects foul play, but he can't prove it. It's intense and dramatic. Love the callback, well, hate the callback because this is Glenn's grave, we're guessing. Herschel sees his father's grave. We know that Daryl drops an F-bomb. Some people are like, what's the big deal? I curse all the time. And it's not really a big deal if you're an adult, but it is in the Walking Dead world. Then we see Maggie's not messing around. Cooler heads prevail while Lance leaves, finds Leah, and basically hires her to go after Maggie. And Lance, being Lance, hires people to do his dirty work. And it's cool that Leah was around for this, but she's killed off in the next episode. Lance goes to Hilltop after Maggie blows up the Barrington house. That house has been through some damage, that's for sure. It probably shouldn't be standing right now. But we have another time jump, and then we see that Herschel is being taken out of Hilltop because Maggie knows that Lance is coming there. Maggie's worst nightmare is coming true. Negan, the babysitter. Negan, Maggie, their dynamic is growing. Negan trusts Maggie. Maggie trusts Negan. And we know, well, they have to have that. And it's been building since season 10, but definitely season 11, episode 1 to 11:16, they finally respect each other, meet each other, trust each other. Leah takes her Commonwealth troopers that are dressed in black now. The Locusts are the act of God in the episode. I believe the episode is titled Act of God 11:16. Like I said, the Barrington house was blown up inside with, I'm guessing, the biodiesel that the Commonwealth brought. Previously, the Commonwealth troopers try to take out Daryl, Aaron, and Father G, and it doesn't end up well for them. We see that Maggie is captured by Leah. It's basically a callback to season 10C with Daryl and Leah. Leah ends up being shot by Daryl in the back of the head, just like Marco, but don't worry, we'll talk about who we lost this part and really all of season 11 so far. Max gets the files. Sebastian catches her in the act. We'll have to see what's up with the list of names, but we know that Pamela Milton is lying to the Commonwealth and they're putting the stuff in the newspaper, so Connie Kelly are about to expose the Miltons. Like I said, Marco got killed off in the episode, and it's one of those things where we haven't really lost any major characters, but the end of the episode is a pretty big thing where Lance and the Commonwealth take over Alexandria, Hilltop, and Oceanside. So they were going to take over Alexandria, but now they took over Hilltop and Oceanside by force. Still waiting for Cindy, still waiting to see Luke and Jules. Maybe they saved the day. We see a good shot of the coin, Lance's favorite coin, and all of a sudden he's flipping the coin for heads or tails. What do you make of it? To decide who lives or dies, I guess. So he is The Walking Dead's version of Two-Face from DC. But in season 11, part 2, we lost Alden, Marco, and Leah, and a bunch of Commonwealth soldiers. So what's the biggest death? Is it Alden? It's not Marco, and it's not really Leah, and that's really who we lost. There hasn't been a major character death, and it doesn't have to be, but there kind of has to be, right? So if you go back to part 1, we lost Gage, which, really isn't a big loss at all. We also lost C. Thomas Howell's character. We lost the Reapers and Pope, which was kind of a lackluster, and Maggie's group. We lost all these people. So we kind of just lost meaningless characters for the story. Or I should say, less impactful characters. The Red Theory has come true this season in a lot of aspects. We're like, well, Maggie's wearing a red shirt. She's going to die. No, she lost her whole team except for Elijah and Alden. So more evidence, proof, whatever you want to call it, supports the theory. But there you go, guys. That's part 2. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you sad that The Walking Dead is ending? Is it even going to feel like an ending? Because we're getting so many spin-offs and a spin-off of a spin-off and this and rumored spin-offs and maybe the movies and that. It's just crazy to think that the main show is ending, but the Walking Dead universe is very much continuing. So I've enjoyed season 11. I don't know what's better, part 1 or part 2. That's hard to decide. Part 2 has had a little more story and a little more stuff to it. But let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Support the PT channel when you can. We're big proponents of the Walking Dead community and family, and we need your help to achieve our goal of 100,000 subscribers. But either way, thank you for the support. We truly appreciate it. Thank you guys. Stay safe. And as always, tell them Daryl.
Yo, we love you.